The best inventions are often the ones you never notice. Every day, millions of people use a keyboard to send messages, write documents, search the internet, and communicate with the world. Yet hidden among all the keys are two tiny design features that most people never think about. The small raised bumps on the F and J keys. Run your fingers across your keyboard right now, and you'll feel them. They seem insignificant, but without them, typing would be slower, less comfortable, and far more frustrating. In fact, these tiny ridges act like road signs for your fingertips, helping your hands instantly figure out where they are without needing to look down. Try a quick experiment. Close your eyes and place your hands on your keyboard. Chances are your index fingers naturally found those two keys almost immediately. That's because the bumps, known as homing bars or tactile markers, are designed to guide your fingers back to the home row. With your left index finger on F and your right index finger on J, every other key can be reached through muscle memory. It's a simple idea, but one that allows experienced typists to keep their eyes on the screen rather than constantly glancing at the keyboard. But why were these bumps needed in the first place? To answer that, we have to go back to the era of typewriters. In the late 1800s, typing was often a slow process. Many people searched for each key individually before pressing it, a method that would later earn the nickname Hunt and Peck. As businesses grew and offices became busier, typists began looking for ways to work faster. This led to the development of touch typing, a technique that relied on muscle memory instead of sight. Rather than looking at the keyboard, typists learned the position of each key and kept their fingers resting on a central starting point known as the home row. One of the earliest and most famous advocates of this technique was Frank Edward McGurran, a court stenographer who amazed audiences by typing rapidly without looking at the keys. His demonstrations showed that touch typing could dramatically increase speed and accuracy. However, the method introduced a new problem. If typists weren't looking at the keyboard, how could they instantly find the correct starting position after moving their hands away? Keyboard manufacturers experimented with several solutions. Some tried raised shapes, while others tested different kinds of physical markers. Eventually, designers realized that only a subtle reference point was needed. By the mid-20th century, raised markers began appearing directly on keyboards, allowing users to identify the home row through touch alone. Over time, the design became standardized, and the F and J keys emerged as the universal locations for these tactile guides. Interestingly, not every keyboard followed this arrangement at first. Some early computer keyboards placed the markers on different keys altogether. But as typing standards became more consistent across manufacturers, the F and J layout proved to be the most practical and eventually became the worldwide norm. The reason these bumps work so well comes down to the remarkable sensitivity of the human hand. Your fingertips contain an incredibly dense network of sensory receptors capable of detecting even tiny differences in texture and pressure. The moment your fingers brush across those small ridges, your brain immediately recognizes the signal and understands exactly where your hands are positioned. This process happens so quickly that most people never consciously notice it, yet remove those markers, and many experienced typists suddenly become slower and less accurate because they've lost an important point of reference. Even in today's world of touchscreens and voice commands, physical feedback remains one of the most effective ways humans interact with technology. Sometimes the smallest design choices create the biggest improvements to everyday life. So the next time you sit down at a computer, take a second to notice those tiny bumps beneath your fingertips. They're a simple solution to a surprisingly important problem, quietly helping millions of people type faster, work more efficiently, and navigate their keyboards without ever needing to look down.